My search for understanding about the Alzheimer's disease process and what my parents could do to prevent developing the disease led me to the Alzheimer's Association.
Let him see it. Bill Mellis?
Well, I've been with the Alzheimer's Association for 16 years. I was hired back in '87. A lot has changed in that time frame. In a very real way, we are the local representative of the national movement to defeat Alzheimer's disease. Our mission is creating a world without Alzheimer's and enhancing quality of life for those who live with it. We're proud to be the largest private funders of Alzheimer's research. It's sort of the original passion of this organization, the volunteers that put the Alzheimer's Association together over 25 years ago. Their real impetus was to create awareness and attract resources and put this thing behind us. There were no drug treatments for this condition back then. Here we are in 2003, and we have 3 actively used treatments, cholinesterase inhibitors, that they don't send people back to work, they don't cure it, they don't fix the condition, they don't stop the underlying pathology, but they are modestly effective for about 1/3 of the people who have the condition, and especially if used early on in the onset of Alzheimer's. And that's real progress. There's another drug, memantine, that the FDA is considering right now, and we are optimistic that it's going to be approved here soon. Other things in the pipeline, as I say. And then sort of outside of the box, you've got things like the immunotherapy, the vaccine trials that were suspended here about 1.5 years ago. We're optimistic that those are going to be up and running again soon. I know the folks at Elan Pharmaceutical, who were instrumental in that original study, have not given up and are keen to get going again. That was exciting stuff. We were disappointed when the trials stopped. So, on the one hand, I always find myself trying to, on the one hand, stoke enthusiasm and optimism about this, because there is real progress, and yet we haven't hit the home run yet. We haven't beat this thing. If I had Alzheimer's today, there's probably nothing that's fundamentally going to alter the course of the disease for me, and that's not where we want to be, obviously. It's always very touching to me to see the pictures people bring of their family member with Alzheimer's, because it's typically not that frail, confused individual. They bring pictures of this vibrant person from their 20s, 30s, 40s, and it's always an interesting thing to remember that people with Alzheimer's who have lost so much had real lives, had jobs, had careers, had hobbies, had interests, have children, have spouses, had romances, had lives just like all of us do, and now they are sort of taken away from that relationship and those various strands of their lives by this disease. I hear scientists say that, I'm 55, and I hear scientists say that it is conceivable in my lifetime to forestall the onset of this disease 5 to 10 years. If you could delay the onset 5 years today, you'd eliminate half of the disease. If you could delay the onset 10 years, you'd eliminate 75% of the disease. I think we're seeing, for example, in the last couple of years, we've seen a growing body of data that relates to the relationship between cardiovascular health and risk factors for Alzheimer's. It's not the sort of thing that you can count on yet, but it's interesting in that we would love to know lifestyle issues that might alter our chances, our risk of developing this condition. So I think we're starting to see some progress in that area, and again, that's exciting. I think one of the other things that's changing, for years, I remember 15, 16 years ago when I started, I got a call from a support group leader over in the East Bay saying, "Bill, you've got to do something about the doctors." And frankly, I didn't know what she meant at the time. Over the years, I understand very well what she meant. You talk to families, 9 times out of 10, it's the family that raises the issue with the physician, not the other way around. I think that's starting to change. We have a project we've been involved in now for 5 years, called Chronic Care Networks for Alzheimer's Disease, trying to work with managed care organizations in the way they view this condition. It's a real struggle. I can tell you, when we first sat down with a very large, well-known Northern California managed care organization, they absolutely challenged the benefit of identifying people with this condition. Why should we do that? We'll just upset people. There's nothing we can do about it. And they've changed their mind about that. They want to do a better job, and they're working very hard in terms of doing a better job with it. So we're making progress in that area. Certainly having pharmaceutical interventions that make a difference affect that equation, because in sort of the traditional Western paradigm, can we operate or can we medicate? There are some medications, as I said, that address some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's, and they work best if they're applied early on. So I think that's one of the things that's changing. I hope and think physician attitudes about this condition will improve.